Okay, Bill, beautiful day. This is the kind of days we can get ahead of schedule, right?
Yeah, today's great.
Yep.
Got nice weather, long hours. Operations like this slurry wall are so messy anyway, a little extra water doesn't hurt. They work through most of the rain.
Is that right?
Unless it
That
was a
doesn't slow
monsoon.
them down, yeah.
Every project is always exciting, but this is a big one.
We all excited about this hotel, and it's going to be pretty interesting the way it's going to look like.
How many men you think we have working inside today?
15 to 20 working on things inside the building. There's around 150 on site.
A lot of engineering in this. I know we had a dozen or more engineers involved in figuring out the best way to do this. You know what's interesting, I was walking down River Street and realizing because of the curve of the river, you'll be able, as you come down the walkway, you'll be able to see the front of every one of our buildings.
Yeah, so the smokestack is staying. Our new steel will go around it. So when you're walking out of your guest corridor, you see the smokestack. When you get to it, the hallway splits, goes around it, and rejoins on the other side. So some history on this smokestack. It was a lot taller originally, and when Georgia Power changed their operations here, they cut off the top of that smokestack and basically imploded the top concrete section of that down within itself. That was fine maybe when it was a power plant. It's probably not a good idea to leave that heavy rubble inside that stack, inside an operating hotel. So one of our upcoming activities is get inside this smokestack, haul out all the old rubble, and then stabilize it, repair some joints and cracks.
My name is Arturo Suarez, work for Peace of Mind Environmental. I'm in charge of the demo crew. We're doing all kinds of demo, floors, removing columns, concrete, working on the roof, and all the cleaning basically. We will demo all this concrete on all this second floor. We're starting working on this mezzanine, cutting stairs, handrails, whatever we can do, and not compromise the structure of the building.
The roof of this existing area is going to get repurposed into event space. Right behind me, all this white steel, that's going to get completely torn down on this corner of the building. And then there's new steel with additional capacity goes in on this whole corner. Everything from there down gets
All that
rebuilt.
goes out?
We leave the joists and the trusses that are there now, but put new ones in between.
Okay.
Because that becomes the 5th floor event deck above. Okay, so here we have the beginning of the slurry wall operation. And what we have in the ditch here behind us is the construction of the guide walls, which are the 4 feet tall concrete walls that the clamshell excavator slides between. So this project has 2 different kinds of slurry walls. What we saw going around the power plant was a non-structural slurry wall, which only purpose is to cut off the flow of groundwater. So it really didn't need the guide walls and didn't need such critical alignment because, as this wall does, because this wall is also going to form the building perimeter exterior wall. So not only is this a cutoff wall, it is also the structural support wall for the building. So its alignment has to be very precise. Here we have the remaining slurry wall panel cages tied up and ready to drop into the slurry wall excavation as part of those operations. Pretty much now completed 3 sides of the perimeter of the basement for the garage. These cages basically, they are set to accommodate a 36-inch thick concrete wall. So They are tied up. They've been built here on site. The ironworkers have been working diligently.
You know, I was looking yesterday, it's really strange when you see these two tall smokestacks sticking up so high in a skeleton building and nothing below holding it. You say, oh my gosh, that thing must be really braced. Because you get a wind load on that, and the torque on that tower would be pretty extreme, I would think.
Which is the reason for 3 months worth of work reinforcing the old steel before we start cutting out to make room for the new. So this is a good point to describe and show you the steps and the procedures for reinforcing the base plates. In this shot, you can see this is an existing column. We cut the concrete slab away and revealed the existing steel base plate, which is about that 3-inch thick slab. That base plate actually needs a bigger footprint. We're clearing all the old concrete out from around it. We have a bunch of steel material that same thickness that we're going to weld to that existing base plate, and in essence create a bigger footprint, bigger pad on the bottom of that column. So this space behind me, as you can see, is we're standing on the second floor. The second floor we're going to reuse in the hotel rooms. I'm standing in a future hotel room now. Then you can see there's really nothing between here and the roof except for a couple little intermittent levels here and there. We actually put a 3rd floor, a 5th floor, and a 6th floor within this space. We in essence create this multi-story building within the existing shell without raising the roof. So that's why we're reinforcing all the bottom of these columns to carry that extra load.
Where are we on the colors? You might point out the different colors we tried now for the steel.
So what we've done is tried to imitate the patina of the steel, that in areas where it was very attractive, and we thought, no, I want to leave it in the finished space. This little section up here where the light bulb is, that is unpainted original steel with that reddish brown oxidized color that the architect seemed to like. And so one attempt will be to match that exactly. Find the recipe that fits that and see if you like it.
Yeah, my name's Alex Skellin. I own Scottish Stonecraft, which is based here in Savannah for the last 20 years. We were hired here to do the historic restoration on the facade of the power plant. All the structural cracks, to repoint all the brickwork, and to repair all the holes, the big large holes in the walls that have occurred over the years. Yeah, this is one of the places where the I-beam, the large I-beam, steel I-beams were flush with the outside brickwork. The one up the top here has already been cut out, steel's been cut out and it's been retooed. It's now ready for the brickwork to be put back in. This elevation at the far end has a section that has already been been cleaned, holes filled in, structural cracks filled in, and has had a finish. It's been totally steam cleaned. We'll hand pick the bricks from the pallets to get the colours to try and match as close as possible, and rebuild the wall and blend it in to match existing as close as possible.
Plant Riverside will be an inspiring place. Even though the site looks like a typical construction mess right now, all the efforts we have put into the architecture and design are soon to become evident.
I'm Dwayne Stevens with AECOM Hunt. I'm a project engineer, and we are at Woodville Tompkins High School, where we're building the Plant Riverside District model rooms. Model rooms are built off-site prior to building in the actual field. The model rooms give the owners the opportunity to walk through a constructed space so that the designer and the owner can come through, look at items that they may or may not like, make the necessary changes prior to going into the mass construction, because the last thing you want to do is go into a 419 room with errors, and then you have to fix that many. One error is a lot easier to fix than 419.
My name is Ron Horton. I'm the owner of Savannah Millwork. We're in the middle of restoring the windows for the Riverside Power Plant. I would like to say that a lot of time and effort has gone in to each one of these sash up to this point. Each sash had to get cataloged, drawings were made, treatment was done, an enormous amount of time. The Park Service has come and looked at it, historic preservation. There's some remnants of the old hardware on the job where an operator would move a handle and all the windows would pivot out for ventilation. So each one of these sash with the crank was able to be opened up at one time. Behind here we have the power plant's doors. You can see the enormity of them, but we'll have to re-glue them. New hinges will be applied, ball bearing hinges, plug the holes where the old hardware was, and get these doors ready to be reinstalled. So our expertise is actually historic preservation, and we're glad to do this job.
Okay, so a couple things that have happened here lately. You've seen the Three Muses site has mostly been a staging yard. We were using it to clean the old brick from the power plant demolition, store equipment. We're really excited at this point in the project because we're actually kind of switching phases. This is the auger cast pile operation for buildings A, B, and C. This auger is displacing the soil and pumping the concrete into the shaft at the same time. Each building column has a cluster of these drilled shafts under it. 2, 3, or 4, depending on where you are, in some cases much larger. We'll form a box around these, fill it with reinforcing and concrete. This will be the pile cap, and then immediately on top of the pile cap is a solid mat foundation that covers the entire footprint of the building. And we've positioned a tower crane, which is a Manitowoc 418, right in about the 50-yard line of the campus. All right, so behind me, here's a close-up of the cab that Tim McDaniel, our crane operator, will live for the next 10 months.
I love operating machinery. I enjoy being high in the sky. You see everything, it's the best view. If you have a rough day, just look out the window and enjoy the scenery. You get to work with a lot of people and you see a piece of property turn into something amazing.
So here in Building A, east side of the site, Three Muses in general, we're at an exciting point in time because we've now completed all the deep foundation work, all the rough infrastructure, below grade work is done. An exciting point of the job. Now we're out of the ground and we're getting ready to go vertical.
Well, it's looking good, Bill.
Thank you.
Looking real good.
Yeah.
Looks like you got men working in every area, focused and doing the work.
Yeah.
That's when you really make progress.
And it's a very tight site, but the subs are cooperating with each other.
Right.
In some cases sharing equipment, sharing cranes.
I'll be honoured and privileged to be able to work on this project, especially being it's in Savannah, my own hometown now. Very happy, and I can't wait to see it finished.
Maybe in a couple months we'll get another update like this.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Great job.